welcome to the 757 Spy Flight on YouTube. My name is Dave. I do the Spy Flights over on Twitch. Welcome to the channel. Welcome if you are new. Hey, if you have been flying the new F28, it is an incredible airplane, but you know what? You need to do VOR-to-VOR flight planning in that airplane, and VOR-to-VOR flight planning is not quite as easy and one-click and straightforward as RNAV flight planning. So I thought it might be kind of fun to come over here onto YouTube and do a quick step-by-step of how it is that I go about doing the flight planning here on for the F28. So let's come on over and do a quick look at what we're going to try and do today. The F28 does not have a McDu. It doesn't have an FMS or an FMC or waypoints. So it's all about VOR-to-VOR flight planning. Now, we'll actually fly this complete flight on the next YouTube video that I do. So this is all about flight planning. Add-ons that I'm going to be using for this flight, I'm only using Navigraph and SimBrief. Volanta will use when we fly the flight plan. I'm also going to use my secret weapon for this flight, and that is going to be SkyVector. Okay, so let's hop on into the flight planning center here, and you recognize SimBrief here, right? Yeah, here is our friend SimBrief, and what we're going to do is we're going to start real simple, and we're going to create a new flight plan. The flight plan that I'm going to be doing is a VOR-to-VOR flight plan of something that we're going to be doing later today on the Spy Flight on Twitch, but I'm going to be using the Airbus A320 because it's a VATSIM event between Stuttgart and Hanover, and we're going to be really busy, so I'm not quite ready to take the F28 on that one. Okay, so now we're here. This is what we're going to do, so create a flight plan. And as far as airplanes, I've got all sorts of airframes. I got about 138 that I've saved in here, but we are going to look for the F28s. As I went and looked around, I didn't see that Lufthansa did any kind of Fokker F28s. So let's just choose the closest one, which for me is going to be Air France. So we're going to be in Air France on this one. So it's AFR is our airline. My number is always 441. We are EDDS for Stuttgart, EDDV for Hanover, and it's going to go and get us, lo and behold, an RNAV flight plan. Okay, what do we do? Go all the way to the bottom of SimBrief, and you see where it says Route Finder. Hit Show Options. You see where it says route type at the bottom. Hit Standard and change to VOR only, and hit Find Route. And oh my gosh, boy, that's an awful lot more direct, isn't it? And it just gave us 3 waypoints, Stuttgart, Fulda, and a non-directional beacon, I believe, DLE. That's nice, but yeah, it doesn't have everything that I think that I'm going to need. First of all, these are kind of spread out a little bit far apart. And so the next thing for me to do is to go into my secret weapon here. And that is going to be SkyVector. And what we'll do is, this is free. It's a real world flight planner. So if you're a flight simmer, you don't need to sign in. You don't need to create an account or anything like that, because you're not going to be filing any flight plans, at least not through this thing. So let's go ahead, and once again, we're going to put in our departure airport, EDDS. Our arrival is EDDV, and enter. And what we have here is a straight line. A nice straight line to up to Hanover. One of the things that I absolutely really like about this is you get what's called a real world flight log that gives you all sorts of great information. So it tells you that our distance is 227.2 nautical miles. I don't put in airspeed or altitude or aircraft or anything like that for fuel, so I don't have that information. I'm just using it for basic navigation. Now I'm going to close this tab right now and go back in here, because now what we need to do is find the route. And you may remember that it gave us the Stuttgart VOR first. So there is a VOR here, and so we're going to probably do that, because if we were going to fly this thing on VATSIM, VATSIM would like us to use a departure, a SID. Well, most of the SIDs are RNAV departures, but there is one for Stuttgart, and this is a non-RNAV departure. And you can see that if we're going to take off on runway 25, that's the Stuttgart 2 Bravo departure. So what we'll do is we'll go out 4 miles and make a left turn to a heading of 164. maximum of 125 knots, because this is not a very big distance here, because what we're going to do is make another turn and get on the 043 degree course, which is the 233 degree radial for the Stuttgart VOR. Aha, that's a good reason for us to keep the Stuttgart VOR in there. So STG, type that into your route and hit enter. Okay, after we do the Stuttgart VOR, we can kind of continue. Well, here's a VOR station here, Lübeck. That's pretty close. I don't think we need that. Let's kind of zoom out a little bit here and move a little bit further north and keep going on our flight path, easy for me to say, and see what we got. Well, here's something called Charlie, which is near Frankfurt. So we've got Charlie over here by Frankfurt, but that kind of puts us close to Frankfurt. I don't know if I want to go in there yet. Let's see if there's anything else. Let's see. Here's the Metro VOR by Frankfurt. So I don't think we want these two. These are going to be busy. Oh, look at this. Here's Fulda. Let's put in Fulda and see what we have. FUL. Now, all of a sudden, we've got a nice little route in here. Let's come on and zoom out and see how far this is. It's 115 nautical miles. That's not bad. That's a pretty good distance for us. So after Fulda, we're going to keep going up north. And what do we have here? Well, we've got a VOR here, Sarstedt, SAS, so a very sassy VOR. But I'm going to go ahead, and because I've done a little bit of homework on the route already, I'm going to zoom out and go over here. I would like to have the Vorburg VOR, WRB. So WRB. I want that one instead. And let me show you why. Remember I was mentioning how it is that we'd like to have these SIDs and stars? Well, if we look over here and look, there is a Vorburg VOR, a non-RNAV VOR that takes us into Hanover. So there is Vorburg. Here is Starstedt. I hope I'm pronouncing it somewhat right. So that looks like it's pretty good, because right now Hanover is landing on the 27s. So this would set us up perfectly. And if we were going to fly this on VATSIM, the VATSIM controllers would be very happy with us, because we have a SID and a star that will meet with their approval. So let's come on over here and let's get this big thing out again. After Vorburg, we're going to come up and do SAS, and hit enter. And that's our basic flight plan that we have in here. It takes a little bit of a turn, a funky turn here, but that's so that we're going to be in on the arrival that the controllers will like for us to come into Hanover. Okay, let's go ahead and hit that navlog button again. Oh, holy moly, we got all sorts of great information here. Now let's zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. And how about another big zoom? There we go. Perfect. So EDDS, STG, that's the Stuttgart VOR. There's Fulda, Vorburg, Sassy, and it gives us the frequencies. This is one of the things I really like about this. It gives us the frequencies that we need to tune into VORs, and it's right there. It also gives us track, true heading, and magnetic heading. All three headings that we need, and gives us the distance between the VORs too. This is predominantly what I use this for. And once I get maybe a little bit better at using SkyVector, I'll start putting in things here so that I can start doing speed and altitude, and maybe be able to get a little bit more information. But for us right now, I like this flight plan. So now I'm going to go and Control C, the Stuttgart, Fulda, Vorburg, and SAS, come back to SimBrief. I'm going to take the selected route and go V, paste it in, hit Analyze, and now that looks pretty close to what we need. Let's go over here and generate a flight plan. And here it is generating the flight plan. And that looks pretty good. But it doesn't have the SIDs and the stars that we selected. Okay, we got to go back and edit. That's another part of all of this, and that's why I'm doing it this way, because you're going to have to kind of tweak back and forth just a little bit. So looking down here, STG, before that, we want to make the VATSIM controllers happy. So we need the Stuttgart departure. And what we need is STG, and we're going to do the 2 Bravo, STG 2B. So now let's come in here, STG 2B space, and let's analyze the route and see if it likes us still. Hey, look at that, it liked the route. So now let's try it again. Let's come back over here, and let's go and get that Vorburg departure, arrival, and we want the Vorburg 8 Papa. So that's going to be WRB, it says 5, oh, WRB 8P. Okay, now at the end, WRB 8P. And let's try this. Hey, look at that. Now let's go over here and generate the flight plan. And all of a sudden, we've got a non-RNAV ready to fly on VATSIM flight route. And so if we go ahead and view our PDF, here is our PDF file, and we'll go over here to page 2, EDDS, runway 25, that's what they're using. Stuttgart 2 Bravo departure, Stuttgart, Fulda, Vorburg, SAS, and the Vorburg 8 Papa. Now, it could be that little SAS in there is extra and might be a problem because that's included in the 8 Papa arrival. But now we've got a really good flight plan, so we can go pre-file on a network, hit VATSIM. It's going to make sure I'm a human, and the connection is secure, and it's going to proceed. And now all of a sudden, here is our Air France flight plan in a Fokker F28, flight level 290. It's a little high. I think I'm going to go ahead and drop that down to flight level 250. And there is our complete RNAV, non-RNAV flight plan. So Stuttgart, Fulda, Vorburg, all of this looks really good. So if we were ready to go and do this, I'd hit File, and away we go, and life would be perfect. So that's how it is that I go about doing this. Now, what we'll do is the next video that you see pop up here in YouTube, I'll actually fly this in the airplane, and we'll see how it is that we are doing. But hopefully this helps you out just a little bit. As I always like to say on videos like this is not about the right way versus the wrong way, okay? I have a private pilot's license, but I'm a flight simmer and a live streamer. This is what works for me, and I hope that it is something that works for you. I'm still relatively new here on YouTube. I read all the comments, including the comments that says, oh, no, you need to do it this way. So if I did something wrong, if you know a better way to do this, I will look forward to reading your comments too. I will also say, I hope you'll join us over on the Twitch live stream, the 757 Spy flight that we do over on YouTube, on Twitch. Okay. Clearly, it's time for more coffee for me. Anyhow, you're welcome. Every flight is a group flight. We'd love to have you over there and fly along with us. I'll do this flight next here on YouTube. In the meantime, as always, I like to say, stay healthy, stay safe. Oh, and if you feel like it, like the video. It really does help me grow over here. And if you really like the video, there's a few links below. You can do Ko-fi. You could also join the Patreon page where I do an advanced pre-flight briefing every day, and that would be really helpful if you could help over there. And if you also wanted to help, come on and be a subscriber over on Twitch. Anyhow, thank you so much for paying attention. I hope some of this made sense, and it makes your VOR to VOR flight planning a little bit easier. I will see you in the friendly sim skies soon.